So welcome. I'm Alex from Adventure House. I'm the owner of the company. We are, well, actually, just kind of go through it. So we are a creative agency comprised of strategists, project managers, writers, designers of all levels, animators, programmers, that really our value proposition is that we transform the kind of the same old into something special that gets real results for clients. So what's our story? My company has grown. I have about 10 full-time employees and about 8 contractors and partner firms. And it was founded in 1990 by 2 partners who in 2011 said they wanted out, and they asked me if I wanted to buy the company. And 10 years later, I'm not sure I would have said yes, but yeah, I said yes. And I bought the company. And 2015, in 2011, we were in Soho. In 2015, we moved to Chelsea after 20 plus years in Soho. The rent when we moved in Soho for 2,000 square feet was close to $12,000. For a small company, that's a lot of moolah. So we moved to Chelsea, and then in 2019, here's where the little stroke of luck happens. They were going to raise my rent substantially, so I said, you know what, screw it. I'm tired of high rent. So I went to Chelsea. It was manageable rent, because anyone that owns a small company knows business is great when everything is perfect, but business sucks when everything is not. So you want to keep your expenses low. And Michael, you'll give me the 5-minute mark if you could. Just scream at me
Will
if I
do.
don't see like a high sign. So I decided to, after looking at 20 spaces, and actually I was about to sign the contract. On the day of signing the contract, I decided to bail. And I said, I'm not moving forward with the space. And I basically put all my furniture and everything in storage, did a fire sale and got rid of all the desks and the chairs. I gave about 10 chairs away. And everyone works from home. We transitioned our systems I hired one of the best tech companies that I know. Actually, I hired a company and I fired a company. Then I hired another company, and we transitioned, and we built a system that would support a virtual model to support contractors, full-time staff. And in 2022, we're growing and everything is going strong. So who do we work with? We work with mid-sized firms and large multinationals. I would say kind of primarily in the financial services, the banking, the payments, investments, insurance space, some fintechs, work with some IT and tech firms, work with education, large Scholastic type firms, and actually with Scholastic, to smaller startup in education. And we work with some retail. I just got a call this morning for a high-end luxury car firm who needs work. So our core capabilities, we help build brands, we help to market products, and we help to acquire new customers. And we do that through web channels, digital marketing, and the video and animation channel. But for the purpose of today, so that we're really clear, I'm not going to share everything. I'm going to speak to the video and to video and animation only. And I'm putting that conversation within the lens of using video and animation to put your message into try that again. Using video and animation to put your message into motion. Say that fast 5 times. 4 use cases. So I'm going to share after this 4 screens that talk about 4 different ways you could do it and multiple examples. So on each of these use cases, I just have some samples. So use case 1, we want to elevate the content on LinkedIn to get attention, to get views, and to get clicks. So we create motion graphics. We take a client's, they come to us and say, we have a need. We want to market a product. We want a customer to download a report. we want to acquire new customers, we will come back and we will transform the content. We will, I'm just going to play it again, sorry. Oh, yeah. So, and we will envision a creative strategy, which gets people to look at it and to click through and to accomplish the tasks that they need to accomplish on LinkedIn. This is just 3 examples. We have 100 of these. Use case 2 is to make it fun, make it creative, have it stand out from the competition. So, again, we take a message of what they want to communicate and we transform it. So these are just actually, there's 2 adventurous things in here. This is a campaign that we're about to run, like to elevate the stodgy to the spectacular. But, whatever we do, we try to re-envision it, put like this bottom right one, put the technology product in the world, and in this case, in the car, because it is a technology product for a car, to have people see how it works, to kind of envision it. It kind of gamifies the content a little bit, it makes it fun, it makes it interesting. If it's a technology product, I mean, use like characters to make it interesting. We tend to use characters in a limited fashion because we don't want the cutesy aspect to overwhelm the subject. Use case 3, clearly demonstrate the value of your offering to your audience. So if it's a technology product, if it's a classroom experience, if it's a process that changes another process, our team, from start to finish, from the strategy phase to the discovery phase to the creative phase and the execution phase, we will help clients really show their value clearly to their customer. I know I have a lot of things that are moving on the screen. It's probably like, oh, it's overload, but it's really truly to show just kind of a larger breadth. But each of these projects that I'm showing you in these little screens, every piece of information on the screen is a strategic way we would show a user, for example, on the top left, in the context of the product, and the value, and showing the value and calling out the key aspects. It's faster, it's easier and efficient, it's overcoming specific pain points if something is slow and inefficient and stodgy. So we want to make things as clear as possible to an end user. And use case 4, tell stories. Forget, I can't see what I'm. Oh, make it personal and connect with the end user. So this top left one we actually filmed. We went, to on site to a client. We filmed her story. She's an analyst. She graduated from NYU, and here's how she makes an impact, and here's her visions, her dreams. And you're not directly talking about the company here, but the fact that you're showing a person and you're showing that they're so expert and they're top in their class and they work for this company now, that really just shows well on the company itself. So it's a softer way of communicating value. And then these conducting interviews on the street and more interesting ways to get everyday folks involved in the video process so the brand is credible and real. And actually, let's see, what do I have next? Oh, why can't I go? Oh, here. Why can't I go forward? Just 1 second. That's weird. Oh, and then here's actually our current reel. It's 2 minutes. And Michael, and how much time have I got?
You have 6 minutes, so you can play it if you like.
Yeah. So this is kind of.
You have to share the audio if you want us to hear it.
No, it's fine. It has a little bit of audio, but it's fine. It's not worth it. This just kind of shows again more of the breadth and the depth of the. This is more kind of the sexy part of our work, without necessarily. It's not in the context of solving a specific need, but each of these products, they solve very specific needs that clients have. To really activate their product. And honestly, a lot of what we do is, they come to us with the mundane. And it's like, how do you really make this sexy? And how do you make it appealing? Okay, and the screens may not be, if it's a user interface for a software, it may not be, if it's an accounting product, for example, accounting and sexy aren't two words you're gonna say in the same sentence per se. But it's like, it's our job to make this appealing as possible to the audience, using stats and data to really pull out key points that are, impactful to a client that's coming to this company to solve their issues. So anyway, yeah, I skipped through that. So in addition to motion graphics and video and animation, I just wanted to kind of call out some other things that we do as well. Although I would say that motion graphics and video and animation are probably 70% of what we do right now. We do have a larger team, as you saw from the beginning, of a staff and contractors of up to 18 right now. And honestly, I don't want it to go too much larger, because then it just starts to get, a little bit larger than I wanted. But, we're just doing what we have to do. So we do a lot of content for LinkedIn. You want to make when you're out there on LinkedIn and their messages there, you want to make it as simple and graphic as possible, using testimonials in some cases. We create games for clients, where if they want to convey a specific aspect of what a product does, we will create a game.
By the way, you're down to 3.5 minutes.
Okay,
Sorry.
well, I'm almost done. Would create like giant infographics that kind of re-envision the content. We create websites, in this case, that pop, and that's my favorite thing to say. It's a popcorn website. That's the joke. And this
Must
is
be a
actually,
dad.
yeah, exactly. And I believe this is the last piece. So not only do we create the graphics that advertise content on LinkedIn, but we create content for LinkedIn. This is an ebook that is actually going out in the next 2 weeks for a client. And that's why I didn't want to have this on recording. It's actually, we wrote all the content, we illustrated all the graphics. So we'll create the content strategy and the actual information, as well as the marketing campaign to get eyeballs to it. And that's me.
Wonderful.
In 14 minutes, I believe.
Even less, exactly, 13. Less
I'm
than
more
13.
to the point. Yeah, I'm very much to the
That's
point.
what it's all about. So any question, I didn't see any questions or I saw some comments, very positive comments in the chat. Beautiful deck, says Rajiv. Anybody else have questions or comments of Alex? So Alex, you titled the presentation originally "A Journey." Did you want to talk at all about?
No, I changed it. I changed the because
Okay.
as I wrote to you, is saying that I'm not ready for that particular story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I put it.
Michael?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question. So, Alex, first of all, I got to say, beautiful deck. It's like, I really, really love the colors. And as you can notice by my Zoom background, the purple and pink, I mean, I just totally get your jam. So my question to you is, as far as the work that you're doing on LinkedIn, is it kind of more on the content creation side of it for the campaign? Or is it that plus the actual advertising part of it that presents that creative to like targeted people to get them clicks and stuff? Could you like clarify that? And also like what the approximate budgets are for something like that?
Well, like as I say here, we have 10 employees and 8 contractors and firms that we work with. So I'm not sure. Do you know? I don't know his last name. Gilbert. I think.
Gilbert, yeah.
Yeah. So he's the LinkedIn guy, and that's his expertise. So we work with him on actually getting. Oops, I'm not sure if I unshared my screen, but
I did. I'm
okay,
sorry.
cool.
I could.
Yeah, no,
Because I
that's
wanted to
fine.
go to
That's fine.
gallery mode.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You totally are cool. Yeah, so we don't actually work on the actual the technical getting customers to click through. That is through the partner firms. And like in the past, like agencies would work with other partner firms and say, okay, well, I'm going to white label you and you're going to be, and you're going to pretend to be on my staff. And I don't play that way. I'll be very transparent to clients that, you have your core Venture House staff and we work with these expertise partners, and he's the one that actually does the click through.
So if you refer a partner, you don't say that they're white label, or that they're you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about the other way around? Do you white label through other agencies?
I don't work through any other agencies.
Okay. Renee had a question.
Nice work, Alex. Are your animators in-house, or are those the 10 people who are on staff? Or are those the contractors, and are they in US based, or are you working offshore?
The animators are all staff, and they're all in the US, primarily in NYC. The only offshoring we do is some programming work we offshore to the Ukraine.
It sounds like you do partner with other agencies, but under your, not white label, under your name.
Yeah, I mean, because usually if I partner with another agency, if they hire me, I'm most likely not going to be able to share the work as my own. I'll have to, actually we had that opportunity once where an agency said that you can't share it. So I've kind of stayed away from that because I really, if it's a great project, I want to be able to share it. So, we're as only good as your last project. And a lot of the work that I shared now, I necessarily can't promote on LinkedIn due to my contracts with large scale firms, but I can show in kind of more intimate settings, like this fireside chat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I have the fire going right next to me. And we'll talk about if there's any portion, if there's specific portions that we can show, because I can edit stuff out, but we'll talk about that offline.
Okay, cool.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. So now we've got one more question. Rajiv, go ahead.
Yeah. So Alexander, you kind of I guess partially answer the question. The other part of the question was what's the price tag approximately for you're creating the digital assets, like the content assets for a LinkedIn outreach? Can you share a range or something?
It depends, obviously. I mean, that's always the case. Is it a one-off? Is it a multi, asset campaign? Is it static? Is it motion?
Motion graphics. Yeah, the part that you were showcasing.
Yeah, like a motion graphic is, could start from anywhere from 2 to 3K and go up to, 5 to 8K or above for, simple graphics for LinkedIn. But obviously, if they're more complex, or if you require to write scripts or whatnot, it's definitely, my challenge with my company has been trying to kind of create a curated menu price list, but it's so custom, right? Everything is custom, and I don't want to charge too much. It's unfair to the client, nor do I want to charge not enough. It's unfair to us, right? So yeah, I mean, it ranges probably 3 to 5K, 5 to 8K, depending on what you want. So.
Nice. Well, thanks for that, Alexander. And I definitely want to connect with you and have a conversation, because I see some synergies with reputation management.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, really some beautiful work and reasonably priced. I would think, I was thinking 2K I wasn't expecting, and I put 10K at the top. Of course, go higher than that, but I wasn't expecting that either. So
okay, we're talking about quick hits on LinkedIn, right? So if you're talking a 2-minute piece, you're talking 20+K.
Okay.
So I mean, it just, we have in progress about I'd say about 30 motion graphics now, and they range anywhere from 3 to 5K to over 30K is my guess, depending on scope and scale.
Right.
I'm sorry, can I ask one more question on the Citibank?
Sure.
City, where you interviewed, which was great, a really nice piece. Can you explain the process of that? Was that actually done locally, and I'm just curious your process.
Yeah, it was actually filmed on site. It was a day shoot. We started at 7 in the morning. My daughter came on site as an assistant, which was nice. I didn't pay her. So is that child labor? It was for experience though. Yeah, it was a day shoot. We started like at 7 and we finished at 5. We shot at 4 locations, the cafe, her house actually, the subway, one more, and at the city, the headquarters themselves at 388 downtown. Yeah, and yeah, we had a film crew, guy who shot, sound guy, and an assistant. And then we edited the video. We put the subtitle. We added all this, if there was a scene in London or something, because I believe I only showed you the first part of it, but it went on for about 2 minutes. Yeah, and we had put in little stock photo clips and to kind of accentuate if you're talking about, well, it takes me to London, right? So you just kind of accentuate, the storyline and you pop out the points that, so it was definitely, it was more of a story than it was anything like, and introducing the new product that will change your life. It was just kind of like on the ground, real life story.
Are you doing a series of those, or was that a one-off?
Well, actually, we were doing a series, but then COVID, right? Then that's when Omicron came out, and then everything stopped. We were supposed to be going to Seattle, but yeah, that's never picked up again. Yeah, there was supposed to be a series of 3.
It's nice.
All right.
Nice work.
Thank you so much. Let's move on to our intro phase. So, Alex, do you want to do an intro as well? You would go last,
No,
or
I think
you're covered.
Yeah, I think everybody
has a pretty good idea of what you're doing. I did put in the order and then the new order. Matthew has to go last. So, if everybody, I will go back to speaker view, and I think we have enough for 3 minutes. Up to 3 minutes. You don't have to use it all, of course, but as we always do, but I'll explain for the benefit of Renee, and you'll catch on pretty quickly. I'm sure you've been to lots of networking events. Just introduce yourself, what type of work you do, how you can help others, what you're looking for specifically, if you've got any asks, and if something you want to tell us about that's new, interesting, even, something personal that will help people remember you and connect. That's the whole idea. So Rajiv, Rochelle, Steve, in that order, and you can. Everybody sees in the chat the order in which you're showing up. Okay, but I will read it off. So Rajiv, you are up.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen.
Oh, hold on, I may need to. Okay.
Yeah. And let's. Whoops. Oh, the thing kind of. Okay. So let me share sound. Okay.
I had gone through 6 rounds of interviews at my dream company and was told an offer was being prepared. The next day, I received an email from HR informing me I wasn't hired. My executive recruiter informed me that HR Googled me and discovered I had a criminal record. I was devastated to hear this. I had never done anything wrong in my life, never been arrested. I didn't know what to do. My executive recruiter recommended I reach out to R-Square Media. I sent them an email about my situation. I was warmly greeted by Kat Walker, who said the team would look into this and get back with a solution. The next day, Rajiv Jadhav, a reputation repair advisor, called me to share their findings when they Googled my name. They saw someone who looked like me, had the same first name, and was a convicted felon. Despite this being a case of mistaken identity, this would damage my other job applications. I needed that link removed from my Google search results. 2 weeks later, Rajiv called back with good news. With the link removed, my executive recruiter was able to reverse the company's decision, and I was hired. I was glad to have found R-Square Media at the right time. They helped me secure my career and my future.
Yeah. So what I do is reputation management, but the flip side of that is also thought leadership. So we're doing like a lot of thought leadership work. And the reason for why thought leadership is to essentially change the paradigm. So rather than having you chase customers, customers are going to chase you. And that usually is a lot more satisfying than being the one chasing people all the time. And my ask is for conversations with people in branding. You know, that's why I mentioned it, Alexander, because we get a lot of referrals from agencies, other marketing companies that either refer business to us for a revenue share or white label us. We're fine with either. This way, it's like a win-win-win situation. So everyone gets taken care of, everyone's happy, and we get typically an exciting project to work on. Oh, you're muted, Rochelle.
Yeah, I just saw. What do you do under the thought leadership umbrella?
Yeah, so thought leadership is basically where we're helping client, we're creating the online persona for the client, figuring out who what their brand personality is, how they are going to stand out on relevant platforms. And we're also focused largely on ghost creating content on their behalf. That could take the shape of social media posts, blogs on Medium, as well as like other content to get them visibility. But again, all of it is kind of geared towards having the customer, when they are looking for something that they offer, be predisposed to working with them because of that pre-existing thought leadership. That's going to happen like over time. So that's kind of like the perspective with which we're approaching thought leadership.
Thank you. Rochelle, I'm glad you asked a question because you're up next. Thank you, Rajiv.
Okay. Okay, it's Rochelle from Dynamic Business Growth, and I always say it's dynamic business growth and not schlep along business growth. So one of the areas that I work with a lot of clients is how do you speak about your business in a compelling way? And boy, do customers struggle with that. They start off by saying, "My name's John Smith. I'm located in Midtown Manhattan. I'm doing this for 20 years." And my thought of that is I couldn't care less. Most people are long-winded, boring, common. And when you speak in your industry, like everyone else in your industry, the chances of you being recognized, noticed, and remembered is slim to none. My thought is, how do we go from unclear to unforgettable? So that is, I work with a lot of companies. I always ask them, how do you pull a rabbit out of a hat? And from that, I want to know, what is your high level thinking? What are some of the projects that you've done that most other companies cannot do? So how are you positioned yourself? I find so many companies that have so much skill and expertise, and they don't effectively speak about that. And because of that, they absolutely cannot claim the pricing that they deserve. So I'm doing a lot of work now with creating the company stories, and number two, positioning the company so that they can really claim the money that they're entitled to. So that's about it. So I always say, when you speak about your business, are you storytelling or boring telling?
And did you launch your, you were going to
Yes,
launch a
finally,
workshop?
I finally launched my first cohort. I have, I am in the process of a 6-week program of working with people so that they can zero in on their positioning and create their dynamic story so that they can become unforgettable. So yes, I just launched. So we'll see what's up with that. So thank you.
Any participants from the Trusted Referral Network?
There happens to be, but I didn't know if they wanted to be.
No, you don't need to identify or divulge. It's just great that you have participants from the network. Very cool.
There is somebody from the network. Absolutely. So thank you.
Absolutely. Steve Markman, you're up. Maybe unmute.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, take two. Hi, everybody. My name is Steve Markman. I run Markman Speaker Management in Boston with an international clientele. I am now in my going on 29th year in business. And my primary focus is on helping businesses of all sizes get speaking engagements for the executive team if they are more than one person, or if they're a solo practitioner, I've worked with those too, all the way up and through and including Fortune 500 companies. And these are unpaid speaking engagements to create visibility that lead to business development opportunities, even though they're not doing a sales pitch, lead generation, marketing, PR, and thought leadership, sort of all wrapped up in one. And my clients have been very large Fortune 500 companies such as IBM, Subaru, PayPal, Bank of America, all industries, as I said, down to solo practitioners. And I deliver my services in one of two ways. Either I do all the heavy lifting and do all the work where I identify possible speaking ops, and then I go out and I dig them out and I propose them and follow through and secure them. That's one way. The other way is where people don't have a large budget to secure my services. I teach people either from their own company, or if they're a solo or a small business, I teach themselves how to get their own speaking engagements in a half-day, what I call custom advisory service, where I'm doing a very hands-on session for 4 hours, teaching all the principles, skills, tactics, and strategies of how they can get speaking engagements to use for marketing and thought leadership, and all industries as well. Thank you. Happy to link in with everybody.
Yeah, thank you. And absolutely, if everybody puts their LinkedIn in the chat, you'll be able to connect. Of course, you can also find each other on the Trusted Referral Network for people who are members. And you do need to look them up by their company name as opposed to their own name. That will be rectified in the future when I launch the new platform. That would be now Brian Butkowski.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Michael. My name is Brian Butkowski. My company is Bomb Image. I help entrepreneurs and professional service firms, and by that I mean financial advisors, CPAs, lawyers, people of that ilk, to gain clarity, confidence, and comfortability by demystifying branding and marketing. It means a lot, but I work as an outsourced branding and marketing partner. I've been the marketing team of one or two for small companies throughout my career, and now I'm bringing that in a smaller piece on a fractional basis to some of these different, again, entrepreneurs or firms that could use a little bit of help when maybe they don't have the resource or the, I guess, expertise to get things done when they're trying to accomplish whatever their goals might be for branding or marketing. My process is really based on listening and understanding really what clients need to do and try to help them figure out how they can be helped the right way. I usually focus on understanding brand essence and messaging. I look to experts when I'm doing that, such as someone like a Rochelle, to get that message, figured out, understood, gain as much clarity as possible, and then help them creating out their visual identity and what that visual language would be, and then help to spread that message through the proper channel. So that's one of the best things that I think about as I join a group like this, is there are many experts that I can tap. I'm a one-man show, but when necessary, I can make a proper referral or even white label, because many of my clients just want me to take care of something for them, but get things done appropriately. So I always bring in experts when needed. Again, if it's outside the scope of what I can handle myself or with my small team that I work with, or maybe it's definitely in an area where I need more expertise, I get those experts and bring them to the table to solve the client issue and make that done appropriately. My ask would be if anybody runs across somebody that's a little bit confused, not sure what they want to do, or they're crunched for time and they're not sure how they can accomplish what they need to do as a small business, I'm there to help them from that branding and marketing sense. I'm Brian Butkowski. My passion is inspiring clients to create their bomb image.
Whoops, does BOMB stand for something?
Yeah, it stands for lots of things, but I originally created it as Brian or Matt Butkowski Image. So it's for my brother.
You and your brother, very cool.
Yeah.
And is that a virtual background?
No, it's not. It's actually a sticker on the wall. I kind of got tired of the virtual ones because you can't do this. You can't lift up a phone. So a while back, I had that printed and put on the wall, so it makes it a little easier for me to do this kind of thing on Zoom.
Yeah, very nice. Absolutely. Yeah, it looks great. Definitely stands out. Okay. Next would be Renee Miller. Welcome.
Thank you so much. My first time here. It's great to meet all of you. I'm based in Los Angeles. Founded my agency, the Miller Group, back in 1990, before the internet. We're a digital ad agency, 10 people, so full service for a lot of clients who want all of the services of the big agency but don't have that kind of a budget. We do focus a lot on nonprofits, environmental, sustainability clients. We have a 3-year contract with the Salvation Army for their adult rehabilitation centers, helping them raise donations and awareness. And that's it started about 8 months ago. That's a wonderful challenge. We're working with a medical clinic here that serves the underserved, and it's called To Help Everyone Health and Wellness. Another client is, they're part of the Music Center in Los Angeles. It's called Grand Park, the Park for Everyone. And we just completed a rebranding for their 10th anniversary. We have staff. My husband, my partner, he comes out of the feature film world. So we do a lot of video, which is why I was so interested in Alex's presentation, some animation, a lot of all creative done in-house. In terms of media buying, we have partnered with a boutique women-owned media buying company, and they do all of our buying for us. And we've been working together for about 10 years. We are WeBank certified, if that means anything to anyone, which means Women Business Owned certification. And that's actually brought us into a lot of pitches lately. We've been talking to people like Disney and some of the other larger companies who have a kind of an edict to hire a certain number of women business owned companies. So if any of you runs across someone and you want to partner with us, we are happy to do that. We've done that. We've also in the past done a little white labeling for some larger companies, but as Alex said, it doesn't always turn out that well. But we do bring partners on to work with us, and we're always open to collaborating. That's a big thing for us. In terms of services, social media marketing, I know we've got several young people on staff who are really good at that. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, do a lot of branding, lead gen, a lot of email marketing, client and acquisition, about 60% B2C and about 40% B2B. That's it. Thanks very much.
Really good timing, right on the nose. I don't know if you had your own clock going. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you.
Michael Falato, you are up.
Sorry about that. I was stretching. Can everybody see me?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm Michael Falato. I basically have a lead gen company that does email and LinkedIn automation. And automation is personalized. It goes after your ideal customer profile, and it's repeatable and scalable. So the nice thing about what I do is that I leave it to you to do discovery and close the deal. And my whole approach is let me do the monotonous work of trying to get you leads. I average 20,000 emails a month for my clients, and that's to 3 to 4 emails to each person. That's basically trying to get them to book a meeting, not sell the company, not sell what their services are, but why, who cares, so what's this going to do for me? How's it going to help me with my job? That's the type of emails that we do, and I help write those as well. I have about 25 years of sales experience and started my company about 14 months ago, since I've been doing lead gen most of my life, and grew it to about $70,000 a month MRR. So it's going well. And the other part of what I do is LinkedIn automation. The LinkedIn is a great place to do things, but there's 100 invites a week that you can do now. So I could do 150 a day because I know how to automate that and use a LinkedIn email, use an email address and LinkedIn URL to basically do automation and also drip marketing on LinkedIn. Also on the profile sites, if you have an open profile, a lot of people do, I can also find which ones are open and which ones are not, and send emails for free. So that also is part of that 150 a day. I average probably $4,500 to $5,000 a month for my retainer, and it's basically that, or they hire someone that just started in the sales business, an SDR, for about $4,000 or $6,000 a month, and they don't have any tools, any knowledge, any network. So I win a lot of my deals just because there's a comparison of an SDR versus someone that's 51 years old and been selling for 25 years. So would love to help you or your clients help your top of funnels so they can get back to basically selling and closing deals. That's about it.
And Michael is also a veteran of the Air Force, right?
Yes, sir. 12 years.
What did you do? What were you flying planes?
I was a aircraft mechanic, electro-environmental on a 707 Boeing, which is a KC-135 straddle tanker. So we refueled jets in the sky. So I sat in the back after 3 years and started videotaping that because I was a videographer. I was a production guy in school, in college. So my background is actually to be working in production. I did that after college, and then I decided to get into the internet and sales because I didn't want to work on a set for 15 days in light studios and stuff. I like production. I just didn't want to do it for a living. And yeah, so the video production side of things, I saw B-1 bombers, KC-130, other jets, planes underneath our planes and refueling them in the sky. Crazy story I had is one time we were underneath probably a KC-10, not a KC-10, but a AC-10, which is an attack jet, and we got too close. And if you put your hand outside a window, it kind of slams it into the car. So because of the pressure, it almost got us like this, and then we had to do an emergency departure. And I'm like this, my camera, like give me that tape. We got to look at that. So I didn't get to keep it. But yeah, I was in the Air Guard in Illinois, Chicago, and then March Air Force Base at Riverside, California. So
did you catch any UFOs on film?
No, but I did choke out an alien because I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So I did protect our nation from the alien creature. His name was Slavko. And
right.
Yeah, he was mean. Yeah.
Well, I would love to learn more about it. Let's see, Matthew.
Hello, sorry for going off camera for a little bit. I got multiple computers and people buzzing me on other gigs. So hi, I'm Matthew. I am the digital ads SEO guy. Met a bunch of you guys before. In terms of the ecosystem stuff I do, I help drive the right clients to your websites at the right time, put the right message in front of them. I'm more on the ad side, SEO side. I definitely would love to do some work with Michael with his outreach program, because I think that ties really neatly into some of the things I do. I don't do the AI-based outreach. I'm more of getting messaging, advertising in a digital fashion.
You want to tell us at all about some of your work, recent work, or clients or something?
Sure. So recent work, I'm working with an insurance company in Atlanta. Initially got hired doing some Google ads for them, and now I'm helping them with launching a new website and some SEO work and doing some analytics work. Working with a software company out of California doing growth marketing for them. So that involves LinkedIn ads, some Marketo, going in there trying to figure out like why people are not filling out the forms, trying to improve the lead quality, stuff like that. So it's fun.
Based in Atlanta.
Matthew, do you do Google AdWords too?
I do Google AdWords.
Can we talk later?
Absolutely, and also Bing.
Thank you.
What's the market share of Bing?
Bing is small. It's like, it used to be, say, 25%. Now I imagine it's like 10, 15%, depending on the search kind of like neighborhood of keywords that you're looking for. Bing is typically people that used to be or older, don't want to change to Google or just go to the default search engine in their browser.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Or now it's also people that grew up with Bing, like Bing, and stuck with Bing or MSN or something like that.
Very
Matthew,
cool.
like, I thought Bing was like 25% of mobile, or has that changed?
I don't know. I mean, Google's still king. Amazon has a bit of search. Apple's definitely up there for their good search engine. Bing's small, but it's got a good command. The people have used Bing overall, they stuck with Bing. People that don't know how to change their browser also use Bing. I think it's like the de facto default. It's not the searched out engine.
Yeah. Windows. Yeah. If you got
Yeah.
a Windows computer. And they're
So-
constantly trying to switch it back, of course.
Right. So for some companies, it's fantastic because you've got a captive audience. Not many advertisers actually use Bing, so it's cheap.
Interesting. Thank you very much. Okay, I will give myself, I didn't miss anybody, did I? Okay. So my name is Michael Bendit. I founded this network about a little over 2 years ago, and it's been going well. As you all know, so far it's been free. I keep on renewing the 6-month trial. At some point, I'm still working on upgrading my the platform, the website, at which time I'll probably renew everybody again for 6 months, and then after that, it will switch to a paid model. My core business, though, the way I make money is I am a representative, a sales representative for about a dozen software development teams. And what that means is they only pay me when I bring in work. I get paid on a commission basis. It's very transparent. I make 20% off the top. And my job is to match the teams with the right opportunities and vice versa. So people come to me when they're not really sure where to find the right team for the technology, the platform, the budget that constrains what or defines what their project is all about. Some examples of what I'm doing now, I recently spoke with an agency, and I get a lot of work from digital agencies that don't always have those in-house resources, and so they need to outsource. An agency that does a lot of work with a up-and-coming system called Craft CMS, which is, it's competing against WordPress. WordPress is the largest CMS system out there. But every once in a while, somebody will focus on a different type of technology. And so they asked me if I have some resources that handle Craft CMS, and across the dozen teams, I do have one that has a fair amount of experience with it. I didn't even know about it because they're a fairly large team based in Eastern Europe. The teams that I work with, that I represent, are a mix of domestic, dual shore, meaning they've got a couple people here and then most of their resources offshore, and purely offshore. And so that's part of the decision-making process too. Clearly, if you go completely offshore, it's going to be less expensive, but there's some complexities involved in dealing with directly with an offshore resource. So I would say most of my work comes from my dual shore teams, or goes to my dual shore teams, because they've got some people here that can work with the client, here in the US, same time zone, same language, of course. And then they deal with the issues of the overseas, and still save a significant amount of money for their clients. Best leads for me are digital agencies that might have their own internal resources, development resources, but also outsource because they either get too busy or something comes their way that for which they don't have the right skills. We're down to the last 3 minutes. I do want to share a couple of things. One is I am working on a list of other networking groups that people might consider attending as a guest or also becoming a member. So I'm up to about 30 or so. I haven't, as you can see on this screen, haven't completed them all. But Rajiv's network is here. A bunch that you're certainly aware of, you should certainly be aware of. I also founded a networking group called the Marketing Network, which is based in New York. If people want to come as a guest, come back as a guest. Just got to make sure that they're not overlapping because this is a category exclusive network. I have shared this in my newsletter. So if you want to get a link to it, actually, I guess I could put it in here.
And that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm putting a link in the chat. So there it is, and you could bookmark it. Great reference. It will ultimately be on the website, but for now, it's a Google sheet as I build it out. Looking for more to add to this list. If people are a member of a network that they think is valuable, it doesn't have to be just for marketing people. There aren't that many that are just for marketing people. The others are mostly for small businesses across the spectrum. So, this is where sharing and making information available to others to help everybody to lift all boats, so to speak. I think we're at the top of the hour. Got 1 minute left. Any comments, questions about the network or anything else?
Michael, it's my first meeting and I just want to say thank you. And you run a great meeting and it's such a pleasure to meet all these high level people. Thanks for including me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. And Alex, thank you so much for that presentation. Very impressive, your work. And thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. It is now exactly noon on the East Coast. So
Thanks,
take care,
Michael.
everyone.
Holiday weekend.
Yeah, have a great
Enjoy.
Yes,
Thank you
you
so
too.
much.
Nice to meet all of you.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
I enjoy. Take care.